Fellas, ladies, you looking for lotions? You looking for beard oils? But unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and they're probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Welcome again to the OG Network. Ron's opinion don't matter. And today is Financial Friday, and one of the days that I seem to love the most. I ain't gonna say the most, but you know what I mean. These days, like Financial Friday, I like the most because I love to talk about finance, love to talk about money, investments, so to forth, so to speak. And and it's a great subject. Um, This is one of the things that I use to try to better my financial situation in life. And this is why I like to talk about it. And the stock market right now um, is going down, which is cool. Honestly speaking, usually when the Feds come out and they talk, and even though they pause the interest rates, a lot of times people don't realize that the stock market is going to go through its little cycle of reset, sell offs, everybody trying to stomach um, what the Feds is really saying. Um, Basically, trying to stomach what's saying what is they're trying to basically dissect what the economy is really doing. Um, I try not to fear. I try to prepare as much as I can, and that's why I take the moves that I take. And this is where um, I always say it's better to store money for moments like this. This is what I always say all the time: is that investing is tricky. You got to be able to stomach these type of moments, and you never know when it's going to happen. You don't know. You can't. You don't have no ability. Like people use all these graphs and all this other stuff. It's great to give you some idea, but the reality of it is, it's not. It's never going to tell you the whole story. The real truth is, you got to be able to stomach some of this. And what I mean by stomach, you got to be okay with the down parts. You know what I mean? A lot of people are like, oh, the economy, this and that, it's going bad. It's not. It's not. It's just Wall Street, the amount of money that these people have, a lot of what they doing, they buying up like, they selling off. They selling off this because they repositioning themselves. They're not going to tell you overall what's really going on. They already know that the average person, when it comes to investing, the first thing they're going to do is panic. When they see that much money, like, here's my point is, I was watching one YouTuber, and I didn't get a chance to watch the whole video, but there was one YouTuber that said their account dropped by $46,000. Now, I didn't have to go watch the YouTuber's page and know where they were going with that. Um, what's up, Caprello? I guess that's what it is. God bless you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Today is Financial Friday. And these are the moments where you should take advantage of the opportunity to buy. Most people, again, they're going to panic. They're going to run. They're going to jump out. And this is where I feel like Wall Street is a lot more gangster than people realize. Because this is the moment they'll get people to panic. And Kanye West 2028. Yeah, I like Kanye, but yeah, nah. RYKR 047. God bless you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Let me see. Tiffany Trump 2028. That's funny. Hey, good luck with that one. But like, again, I had money stored in JPST and I had to drop off some of it today because I'm taking some of that money and up in my positions and some other stuff. And this is why I tell people, this is why I do what I do. This is why I invest the way I invest. Patience is always going to be my game. I'm never going to rush the game and try to hurry up and do this, hurry up and do that. And, oh, you got to hurry up. No, I'm patient because I already know, based on history, these moments are going to always show up. They're always going to come around. And most people, because they can't stomach it, are going to bail out. They're going to run. They're going to panic because they think doomsday is coming. And I get it. I understand. I'm not knocking what they're doing. I just understand it. As we sitting here talking, I'm going to tell y'all what I'm actually buying. And I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling nobody what they should do with their money. I'm just telling y'all what I'm doing with mine. That's it. So far, I bought more of this. And I bought more of this. So if you're not sure, those are the stock codes of the stuff that I actually bought already as we're talking and as I'm talking and on my live or whatever. So y'all interested in what did I just spend money on? There you go. This is at the end of the day, the way I look at it is the stock market is on sale right now. So it's up to you what you run to do with people, how you feel about the stock market, how you feel about investments. Right now, in my opinion, it's on sale. And guess what? Ain't nothing like a good old sale for the stock market. Guess what I'm doing? Buying, buying, buying. Welcome to Financial Friday. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Appreciate it very, very much. This is why I call it Financial Friday. This is why I do what I do. A lot of times people, they don't like it when you talk about finances. They rather hear you hollering and screaming about your political stance and those type of things is what people like the most. They like to argue back and forth. They like drama. And if you give them drama, they'll come in. Yes, yes, yes. I got drama. Me, I'm cool with it. It doesn't even bother me. I like investing. I like using my money to make money. I like looking for opportunity, and that's why I keep doing what I'm doing. This is not about. And my thing is this: you're gonna always be a victim to the system. You don't want to accept it, that's fine. You're going to always be a victim to the system. What I mean by that is, while the rest of the world is out there, while the rich is out there making tons of money, you know what you're doing? Complaining about gas prices. You don't get me wrong. I don't want gas prices up high. But when I looked at all of the companies that I have invested as far as fuel goes, energy costs, energy stocks, I'm up. And I give y'all one for example. NOG. I am up 25% return on investment. That's if I was to go sell it. So NOG was a stock I bought a while ago. I'm sitting on all of my energy stocks and all of my semiconductor stocks. So just like through the roof right now. Am I buying more? Nope. I just sit on what I have. I'm just sitting on what I have. I jumped out of some other stuff. I jumped out of General Motors because I just wanted to take so much profit there. I moved it into something else so I can increase my dividend payout. And like I said, this is what you're going to see. These are the moments I get excited. These are the moments that I like. If you're on this live, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Appreciate it very, very much. These are the moments that I like. I like the stock market right now is going in the crap, and that's a beautiful thing to watch. It's beautiful. Very. Bitcoin's dropping. Everything is dropping, and I love it. Why? Because I already know the long-term gain is always going to be more beneficial if you're able to stomach it long enough. Most people are not going to be able to stomach. They're going to see these type of moments. They're going to see the value of their investments go down, and they're going to panic and sell off. It's what happens. I see it too many times. Or if they're a rookie and they just got in, they see these type of moments and they get scared and they say, you know what, this ain't for me. I don't know what I'm doing. I made those same, and here's the thing. I didn't bail out, but I know what that feels like because I was one of those people that in the beginning was saying to myself, maybe this is not for me. Maybe I'm making a big mistake. But then I thought about it. I said, you're not going to get what you're looking for if you don't stick to it. I went and checked the vets, people that have been doing this for a long time, and the one thing I noticed that was consistent amongst all of the successful ones is they stuck to it. They made wise, smart decision investment wise, but they stuck to it. And that's exactly what I started doing. I stuck to it. And the more I stuck to it, the more I realized that, hey, I can actually even for the things that I'm so-called down in, I'm technically up in because I rolled it out so long and collected so much dividends off of it that I am in the green, even though sometimes it looks like I'm in the red because I never sold. I treat my investment the same way I would treat if I was in the business of real estate. If I sell it, I'm not going to get dividends no more. If I sell it, I'm not going to collect rent. So if I own a piece of property and I decide to get rid of the property, and I was renting that property out, I'm no longer going to be able to collect rent off the property because I sold the property. Now the property might have came with a good amount of profit out of the sale. I might have made a good money. But what again? If I had made, let's say I sold a house and I made $80,000 in profit. What am I going to do with the $80,000? Go buy another piece of property and do it again? At that point, I have no longer have the property and I got $80,000. What do I do with the $80,000? Go spend it and waste it on wasteful stuff? No. This is the reason why sometimes it's better to just hold out, make sure you got good, solid investments, and let the money keep working for you. Let the money keep working for you. As long as you're picking some good, solid stuff that's making you money, let the money keep working for you. The longer you're making the money, the longer you stay in, the long term is always going to give you better results. Now, don't get me wrong. You have to watch what the company's doing. You got to watch what the way they're handling money. You got to make sure that they're profitable. There's a lot of other things you have to make sure of. But that's why you diversify. That's why you diversify your portfolio and you put your money in more than one place. Never, ever do you put your money and all your eggs in the same basket and assume that it's going to be all right. Right now, currently, I know that on a minimum, I am in, probably about 300 different companies that my money is invested in. It's the way I do it. It's the way I like to do it. I don't put my money in one place. I look at the company. Some of them are a little more riskier than others. I put my money there. I invest it, and I slow walk everything. I don't run and jump and put a bunch of money at one time. First of all, I ain't got a bunch of money. So I work with what I had. And I did this out of my paychecks. Every time I got paid, I took a little bit of money, whether it was $5, $10, $20, even if it was some chump change. I just started investing, putting in the place ETFs, investments that pay some type of dividends. What's up, Drifter? God bless you. Welcome in. Cool. Appreciate you. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Appreciate it very, very much. But yeah, I would just kept investing, kept dumping my money in a little bit. You know what I mean? $5 here, $10 here. And that's why I tell people, man, don't go try to get a whole bunch of money. Don't try to act like you don't have to prove nothing to nobody. All you have is $5 invested in it. Use that to investment to start with. All you have is $3. The game has been leveled a lot with these platforms like Robinhood and Webull and Cash App, where allow you to invest with very little and give you a chance to compete with big business. Now, don't get me wrong; they got money that you trying to get to, but they opened up the door for the average person to be able to have an opportunity to invest. And all you got to do is educate yourself enough on how this system works, how this works, and get a sensible idea of how investment works, and just stick to your game. Know what you're doing to some level. And listen, I made mistakes doing this. Has it been costly mistakes? No, because I slow walk everything. I don't jump into something and put a bunch of money. I just slow walk because I already know the stock market's going to be up, it's going to be down, it's going to be up, it's going to be down. So I store until I catch a down moment. And sometimes I put it in a down moment and it kept going down even more, which happens. It's not a new condition. I've seen it so many times. And they say, yeah, well, that one time, I'm not worrying about that one time. It just keep going down because I've had stuff go bad for me. Most of them, no. But I've had stocks go bad. I mean, of course, right now I'm looking at some stuff and I say, yeah, not long from now, the reverse splits are going to come. That's why I just say I'll sit on it and I'll wait. I'll wait till they do the reverse split. I'm not going to sell it. I'll let them do the reverse split and I'll watch it go down and keep collecting. I'm gonna keep collecting. And then I'll wait, slow walking. When I see it kind of settle where the number, then I'll slow walk more money into it. But I'm gonna make sure I'm always getting more out than I'm putting in. And every time I've done that, I've been on the winning end of it. Real talk. Real talk. So I know, people don't understand that and they don't get it, but I'm good with it. And it's a system that I've not saying that the way I invest is the only one. It's just I like the way I'm doing, and it allows me to slow walk everything. Howard, how you doing? God bless you. Welcome in, welcome in. It allowed me to keep investing the way that I'm investing, and overall, I've seen great results. Am I rich? Nope, not even close. If I sneeze too hard, I can go broke. So it's not even about me being rich or having a lot of money. Say, oh, I got it all going on. I'm built like this and that. No, this ain't got nothing to do with none of that because I'm not that person and I'm not built like that. But I do see that if I was a person that had more money to work with, I'll see how easily I could not go broke. Like there is a moment with this that if you had a certain amount of money and you manage your lifestyle right, you can never go broke with this. You just can't because the money that will be coming in from all the stuff that you've done over time will just and only but so how many more what can you unless you go and just gave away all your money, yeah, you can. But if you're sensible and you manage your life and you build a portfolio to some level, and the amount of money that's going to come in from your investments, you almost can't go broke if you're smart and you just stick to a decent lifestyle. And that don't mean you have to live like a hermit. Like, I don't want to spend no money. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But, so for somebody that's, when they say if you had $1 million invested, you can live off of that, off the interest off that $1 million, they're absolutely correct. That's not even a myth. That's the truth. I don't have $1 million, but if I did, I see just based off of what I have invested, I know that if I had $1 million, if I did it right, I can live off the investments, which would end up giving me easily $100,000 a year. It's just going off of what I already know about the stock market. I can live off $100,000 a year and never have to get up and go to an actual 9-to-5 job. And all I will have to do is out of that $100,000, make sure I reinvested about 10 grand of it every single year on minimum. Just enough to make sure I outpace inflation. That's it. And in that way, I'm always making more unless inflation goes haywire. I have $1 million. So when somebody say, yeah, you can live off the interest of the investments if you have $1 million investments, you can. Now, are you going to live like, going out there and buy Lamborghinis and all that other stuff? No, it's the stupidest thing you can do when you got money like that is to go gather up a whole bunch of liabilities. That's why they end up going broke because they go buy a whole bunch of liabilities that's going to consume up everything you have. Here's my point is, all right, you got $1 million, you get interest, you get money. They go buy this $1 million car. Oh, there goes the $1 million. All right, let's just say you go buy one of these expensive cars that costs $250,000. Then you got to go get the oil change, and they want $4,000 to change the oil on this special car. The only thing it does is get you from A to B. It's just a showpiece. That's all it is. And then you'll go out there and you buy this type of stuff, and then it ends up consuming everything that you have. Why? Because you just wanted to buy something, you wanted to look good and all that. I want what I want. Yeah, all right, well, that comes with a cost. You want what you want, that's fine. You can want what you want, but that comes with a cost. It comes with now you have to deal with the liability of what you spent that money on. That's it. You spent $250,000. Now you got to put premium gas in it. Now you got to get the oil change. That's a ton of money. The insurance on the car is a ton of money. Now that $1 million that you have is being consumed by a car, a vehicle, because you look good driving. And especially if it's a real expensive one and only got 2 seaters, and if you're trying to impress women, you're only gonna be able to impress one. You're only gonna be able to put one woman in that car. It only had 2 seats. Now some sports cars may have some in the back, but my point is, sometimes we go and we fall into the same trap. Of, oh, just go buy all this junk. That's all it is. Ain't nothing wrong with it. If you built like that, ain't nothing wrong with it. But a lot of times people don't understand if you build this part first, you can enjoy that part to some level and you don't even have to hurt yourself financially. That's it. But the world, the way it is always going to attack on you. It's the way the things are structured. As soon as something goes wrong, the key is trying to protect your investments and try not to ever have to touch it. And that's the hard part because stuff in your life is going to happen. Cars, if you have a reasonable car, breakdowns, cost of living, stuff expensive, and they know it. And the rich and the wealthy knows it. That's why you'll never be able. I'm not saying you can't get there where they're at. You can, but it's going to require a whole lot of sacrifice and great ideas. You know what I mean, and if you get to that point, now you got to try to refunction, restructure your money to stay there. And believe me, that ain't easy. It's not easy. I mean, listen, I don't know what it feels like to be rich. I don't. The only thing I know is where I'm at, I'm okay, but that can change instantly. But I know the difference between being poor when I grew up and being where I'm at right now. There's a big difference between that too. And financially, I'm in a way better place than I used to be. So I understand that, okay, yeah, this is a better situation by far than where I grew up at. Because when there is something does happen, I'm not scrambling to try to correct it or fix it or pay for it because I sacrificed enough to try to sustain it. And there have been times I've had to go to my investments and say, all right, I need to take certain things out because I got to correct this. Once I went and took care of my problems, took care of my issues that require money to do, then I finished. I went right back to investing, kept the same pace. Now I gotta go put that money back where it belongs, where it makes me money. Yeah, this cost me money. Yeah, this did that. This did this. Now I gotta go take that money. Now I'm back to that's taken care of. Now I gotta go take what I got, a little bit that I have, go back to doing what I was doing. Why? Because that works for me. And I can tell you that there have been hundreds and hundreds, maybe even in the thousands of people that I've talked to, and I already know that they're not going to stick to it. It sounds good because they really don't be listening to what I'm saying. That this is not, I'm never going to tell you that it's easy. I'm telling you that it's worth it. And if you're patient, if you're consistent, if you stick to it, you can reap the benefit. You just can. But if you don't, that's why, in my opinion, the way America is, if you figured all this stuff out, it's actually what it is, in my opinion, the greatest country to live in. Why? Because opportunities almost seem endless. But because you're stuck in the mindset that you're in, you don't see it as opportunity. Somebody gonna be broke. Somebody gonna be poor. You just gotta decide which side you want to be on. Lazy people are always gonna be there. Irresponsible people are always gonna be there. They don't care about nothing. Listen, they can care less about what I'm talking about right now. It sounds yeah, you know what now? He talking about money, he talking about finances. I care less about that. All I care about is drama, arguing, going back and forth with people. That's more important to me. So then when the rich and the wealthy exploit their ignorance, they get mad. Well, you choose that. You chose to be where you at. You chose that life. You chose to be a victim. So why are you mad? Because you chose that. Every day you got up, you look for a reason to find drama, complain, and argue. If your life was corrected and everything was great, you wouldn't have nothing to do. So you chose that. You can't get mad because you spend your every single day looking for a reason to drama. Listen, I get up every day and I spend 2 hours of my day on social media, like platforms like Facebook and stuff like that. And the stuff that I'm watching is drama, silly stuff that don't work. You know what I mean? That's not going to improve your life in no type of way. Then I go to work, and then I go home and I go to sleep, and I get up and I do the same thing. And then I complain about my finances. I complain. Well, you listen. You are what you're doing. You chose that life. You spent every day of your life to make sure to guarantee that you stay in the same situation because you're not doing anything different. That's why when I do Financial Fridays, compared to a day when I'm talking politics, it is a different reaction. If I was on here talking about politics, arguing with people about this and that and that, there are days I've had 400 or 500 people in. Why? Because they like drama. That's it. They like drama. But when you start talking about being responsible with your money, you talk about saving your money, investing your money, finding smart, wise ways to better yourself financially, which means it requires effort from you. That's not good enough for people. People don't care about that. No, that's not important. What's important is I want to argue with you about your political. I want to call you Uncle Ruckus and sell out. I want they think it's funny, and it's fine. It's cool. It's cool. That's your choice. And that's why I just sit back and I laugh and I say, "Yep." Right now, the gun industry. Right. Let me go back. Let me go look for Smith and Wesson in my portfolio. This is crazy. This is why I laugh. And as we talk, what's up, Howard? What's going on? God bless you. Welcome in. Please hit the drama is overrated. And you're right. It is. Drama is definitely overrated. And here's the crazy part. Watch this. Right? Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Where are you? 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 Okay, here we go. Right? Gun industry. Now, I was talking about this a long time ago, and now we're in the middle of war and, war breaking out or whatever, right? Now, I purchased Smith & Wesson at $8.49. That's what I purchased Smith & Wesson. This is the difference between people that weren't paying attention to the noise and people that know exactly because they paying attention to what's really happening. They pay attention. This is the money makers compared to the dramas. The people that like drama and the people that like to try to make their life financially better. Right now, I am up 67% on return on Smith & Wesson, right? Why? Trump said he was going to do what he was going to do. All these wars and stuff. The gun industry is going to be selling more guns. Now, I bought Smith & Wesson almost a year ago. I waited it out. That's just Smith & Wesson. Now, let's go to Ruger. Ruger, I'm up 18%. Now, I'm getting ready to get my dividends on them, too. So that means that the stock price dropped down some. But it was actually up a little high. So while they out there worrying about the noise and the drama, I was invested. Now, because I stomached it long enough, because there was a point where I was in the red with Smith & Wesson. I'll tell you exactly. There was a point where I was in the red. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go switch this to a year. Is a year ago, Smith & Wesson stock almost in July. Actually, let's go back to let's go to November. November, with Smith & Wesson stock was down to $8 a share, a little more than $8 a share. Back in July, it was $7.95 a share, right? So if somebody bought Smith & Wesson, like I bought it a little higher than that, my average cost is $8.49. But imagine somebody who had $100,000 said, you know what, I'm gonna put the $100,000 in Smith & Wesson. They're gonna get a decent amount of dividends when it pays out. But here's a bigger picture. Right now, their Smith & Wesson stock they would be up almost 80% return. That means that they would almost doubled their money. Almost doubled their money. They had $100,000 and they decided to sell it today. If they bought it then, they would have made $80,000 off of $100,000 investment off of the gun industry, off of Smith & Wesson, which don't have a high market cap compared to other companies. Market cap in Smith & Wesson ain't even $1 billion. Let me see, where's their market cap? So a lot of people think gun industry make a lot of money. Gun industry is not that big as people think they. But Smith and Wesson market cap is about $600,000, $600 million. I'm sorry. Their market cap is at $600 million. Ruger might be a little less than that. I'm not too sure. Let me see. Ruger is all right. Ruger market cap is around the same thing, $600 million between it. Right. So the two companies together is over $1 billion. Apple is $1 trillion company, over trillions of dollars. Goldman Sachs said oil will be triple digits for years and years because Trump-Iran action. Goldman Sachs don't know what the hell they talking about. First of all, we don't even get our oil. We don't even get but about 1% of our oil from Iran. So what does that mean? You forgot that Trump said drill baby drill right here in our own country, get our own stuff. You forgot about that? That's why we getting our own oil right here in this country. So Goldman Sachs, the reason why they say a lot of this stuff is to spook you. Because they know they're going to make a ton of money. To spook everybody else so that they can make money. They say a lot of stuff. That's why I don't listen to what they say. I watch what they do. They say one thing but do another. This is how stupid people are. But they're going to listen to them. You know what I'm saying? These are the very same people that tell you, oh, you don't need 10 rounds in your clip to protect yourself against criminal, but then invite 10 million criminals from other countries right here in yours. But then tell you don't need all this protection. But invited all the criminals right over here. Yeah, you can listen to them all you want to. I don't listen. I listen to what they say, but I watch what they do. So ask yourself, if they thought the economy was going to go bad and all them prices was going to go that day, why are they still investing? Why are they still doing this? Why are they haven't sold all their investments if it's a doomsday coming? Why they didn't get totally out? That's to get you out of the way so they can own it all. Market manipulation. That's to get you out of the way so they can own and control it all. That's all that is. I'm not scared. I'm never going to be scared. I've been doing this for a while. I know the game. And that's why I was buying then. That's why I held that long. And all of my oil stocks is killing it right now. My Smith & Wesson, my gun stocks are killing it right now. My semiconductor stocks are killing it right now. Why? Because I was smart enough to not listen to what they were trying to sell me and spook me. I was taking advantage of the opportunity that they was going to present themselves. And believe me when I tell you, if I had enough money, I'd probably be rich today, but I just don't have it. But I did work with what I had to work with, and I see the benefit of that. But as long as you keep the average person spooked and scared, they're going to run away and never come back. And guess what? They're going to always control everything. And you're going to be a victim of this. So if gas prices going up, all they're going to do is pay me out in a better dividend because the profits are going to look better. So all of the gas that I may have to use to fuel my own vehicle, for me, it's going to be free because the money's going to come back in the form of dividend. Why? Because I have a decent amount of money there. It almost covers my monthly costs in fuel, even though I still don't want to pay that much money in fuel. But I do get it back in the form of dividend, and it goes right back into my portfolio. Why? Because I bought it when it was cheap. I didn't run. When it was down, I was buying and accumulating. And I kept accumulating. I didn't run. Like EOG, my average cost is $108 a share. Right now, I'm up 30% on return investment. Why? I told people what I was doing a while ago. That's why I bought it. Now, when all this is said and done right now, my real estate stuff I'm buying up. Not because I want to make a quick dollar. It's because as the economy gets better and a lot of this stuff settles back down and things become more affordable, all of that industry is going to actually start to do better. But it takes time. That's why you got to be able to stomach it. If you can't stomach, if you can't stomach it, you're gonna be in trouble. What's up, Howard? I'm invested in copper. Howard, I agree with you. And I did the same thing a while back. And since you brought up copper, I'm gonna go to my Southern Copper because I have stock in Southern Copper. And I'm gonna tell y'all again, because I know that this is what they were going to do. And Southern Copper is down right now. It's down a whole lot, actually. Not down for me, but it's down. Right now, Southern Copper stock is at $156. When I purchased Southern Copper stock, I purchased it as $87 a share. So right now, even with it going down, I am still up almost 80% return on investment. Because I bought it when it was down. $87 a share is where my average cost is. And right now, the stock is at $156. So again, if you go back to the stock back in April last year, that's when I was talking about it. And I almost doubled. Now, if I would have sold it, again, I'm not selling it. I just keep collecting my dividends. I don't care. It could go back down the way it was. If it go back down the way it was, I'm going to buy some more. But my point is, and it was as high as $200 a share. At one point, Southern Copper was $218 a share. So that tells you right there, I was well over 100% return on investment if I would have sold it. I just keep collecting the dividend. I don't really care. Again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. But again, I'm trying to tell y'all, they don't want to hear this part. I'm right with you. I already had something before it went up. I can afford the dip. And my thing is this, and Howard, like I said, again, I watch this type of stuff, and that's why I say you got to be able to stomach it the long run. And I'm gonna tell y'all where I'm getting my behind kicked in. When I said I was investing in real estate, the one I've been heavy buying into is FSK, and I might get my behind handed to me doing this, right? But I used to only have 30 shares, and I'm well over 100 shares of it now. And I've been buying FSK, and I'm still buying FSK. They lowered their dividends, not paying as high as they were. But I didn't care. I was like, no, I want to position myself higher. And guess what? I'm well over, and I'm down. This is when I'm down a whole lot. I'm down 32% on return on investment. I'm down 32% right now with that. I've been talking about commodities for 2 years. I hate that we have to have a war. It's necessary, but it helps commodities like precious minerals and specific gold. Yeah, and like I agree with you. I'm not a fan of war, but I understand it's necessary. And that's the same thing I always say is that it is what it is. I can't do nothing about it. But again, FSK is it's a non-diversified closed-end management fund, and they deal with a lot of credit stuff, investment, real estate. It's kind of diversified. They're located in the city of Philadelphia. That's their headquarters anyway. I've had it for quite a while. I only had 30 shares of it. Yeah, I'm not getting out. I have no intention to. My point I was saying was, my average cost was really high when I originally bought it. I'm here to give y'all a point examples of what I'm talking about. I had this stock for a long time. The stock, when I started buying the stock, kid y'all not, it was at $20 a share when I was buying it. And I had it, I've been riding this company for almost 5 years. So when I seen the stock price drop, I seen they had a bad quarter, stock drop, they cut dividends from where they was paying it to a lower number, which I'm okay with. But I said I wanted to up my game. So it finally dropped down where it's at a number where I can actually lower my average cost. Now I might be wrong what I'm doing. This might be a bad idea, and I might get my behind handed to me. But I started buying it up. When I had it before, I was sitting at 30 shares of it at $20 a share, which is not a lot of money, but it was there for a long time, and I never bought no more. When it started buying and dropping to the point now I'm well over 100 shares of it. Why? Because it is what it is. I've been collecting dividends off this company for almost 30 years. So even with me being down percentage-wise where I'm at, if I calculated all of the dividends I have, I'm almost breaking even. So it's really not that much of a risk. It just depends on how far this thing goes back bad. Yeah, and listen, let me tell you, I agree with that. I agree with that. I really do. Like I just think big money has a balance that has the intention of trying to control the home industry to the point where they're driving up the costs. But my thing is this is that as a consumer, stop, stop buying it. And here's the thing. If these big businesses own these real estate companies and nobody lives in them, guess what happens? They got to consume the cost of owning. This is how you beat them out. Let's say I own apartment building with a lot of and my rent is really, really high. As long as people are renting it and staying there, I'm gonna always make the money. Right? But this is how you beat that out. Nobody lives there. This is why they already know that nobody's gonna follow these rules. But let's just say everybody say, nope, I don't want to stay here. And they start, you know, family members and family members start living with each other in the same house. Right? And then the real estate companies and all this other stuff, they can't find tenants to rent the stuff. They still are consuming the cost of owning it, meaning repairing it, maintaining it, the grass, the outlet, the appearance, all that stuff has to be maintained. They got to pay or do it themselves. If that stuff does not, if the owning of the property starts to exceed anything that they're bringing in, guess what's going to eventually happen? They either going to have to lower their rent or they're going to have to dump that property off and hope that someone will buy it and consume the whole responsibility of it. If it goes into foreclosure, if they got loans, someone else buys that property and they gets it dirt cheaper. Why? And then they can turn around and re-rent it out for a lot less money because of the fact that they own it less. But when you keep driving up the cost of owning it, when you start raising taxes, raising this, raising that, raising all of this other stuff, this is why I know that these politicians have no idea what they be doing. They don't know what they're talking about. They clueless. I tell niggas, I tell people they fight with their wallet all the time, but they think I'm crazy. Here's the thing. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Appreciate you. And there's a good, and you might be right about that. You might actually be right about as far as that go up. I don't really know. I just know that they had a good balance sheet at one point, and I don't know what went home. Sometimes you just have a bad quarter. That's just it. But the other thing is that, um, being that I've been in the city of Philadelphia all the time. Um, I'm in the city of Philadelphia all the time. I see all the stuff that they're doing. Like there's other stuff that they're doing, and a lot of people can't see. I see it. Yeah, and it probably that should work. The other thing, and honestly speaking, this is where, and not I'm not moving the goalposts too far, but this is the reason why I try to explain to people when they didn't understand why Trump was trying to get the Feds to lower the interest rate. It wasn't that Trump. I don't think Trump was right when he says lowering it so much. But the reason why he was trying to get the Feds to lower the interest rate is because he wanted people to be able to afford the mortgage payment. I know his play is. He wanted the average American citizen to be able to afford the mortgage payment. He didn't care about the other stuff that the Feds was talking about. That was his whole play was, I want to make home ownership affordable for people to live in it and be able to stay in their home long term. If you don't understand that market and you don't understand what that's about, you're not going to get what he's trying to do because you're too busy listening to the stupid stuff. People that don't know what they're talking about. Don't assume because politicians are in office, they know what they're talking about. Don't assume politicians know anything about the economy. You don't get a $38 trillion deficit off of people in Congress and stuff like that that knows how to manage a book, a portfolio, manage money. Most of the people that are in Congress and politicians been in so long, you get a $38 trillion deficit because you got a bunch of people that are irresponsible and don't know how to handle money. They pay too much for stuff that they should not pay too much. Why? Because they don't see it as coming out of their pocket. It's coming out of American citizens' pocket. That's why when it comes out of your pocket and you have to work harder for it, you have a different spending mentality as if somebody just gave it to you. And you didn't put nothing in the effort into getting it. If you hand somebody $1 million like hitting the lottery, that's why most of them end up going broke fast because the money came so easy. But if you hand somebody, if somebody worked and bust their behind and put all of this effort in to make $1 million, they are not going to be so quick to just waste it. You get what I'm saying? So when you hire these politicians, because we hire them, they're not your boss, we hire them. And so I question, that's why when you vote for somebody, you're hiring them to do a job. But we keep hiring the same irresponsible politicians and expecting them to do a good job, and they don't. They pay and waste your tax dollars on stuff that does not matter. This is the reason why I say illegal immigrants have to go, because they're getting your tax dollars and they're spending your tax dollars on them. And that's another reason why the cost of living and housing and rent is so high, is because the government was subsidizing all of these people staying in places with a whole bunch of money that they shouldn't have. Why? Because it's looking out for their cronies. So the more you get them out of here and the more these properties go empty and more they're not collecting all of this government subsidy, guess what's going to happen? The states that's all used to have all of this revenue and tax revenue, they're going to be going broke. So somebody's going to have to make drastic decisions. Say, listen, we're going to have to deregulate, get out of there. We're going to have to encourage people to come back and try to spend money, to try to invest in it. And we got to try to make it business friendly, cost friendly, so that people want to stay and do business. Otherwise, the cost is just going to be the worst. Yep. And here's the thing, I've been in property ownership. I got family members that are still in property ownership. Hold on, he did hire a property manager company and still be making a decent profit. I was like, that's too much trouble. Now he's at 150 and he looks like a dumbass. He's banking on the property. But you know what? Listen, my brother just did the same thing. Kid you not. The stress of dealing with the property, he got tired of it. He went and found a property management company, and he just said he don't want to deal with all the other stuff, and I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. Now, me personally, this is why I got out of it. And for you, I get it. That's the reason why I got out of it, is because I saw what was coming. And then people's like, no. I said, no, I don't want no parts of it. I said, they're about to mess that industry up, and they're going to mess it up bad. And no one understood why I was saying what I was saying. I said, nope, I don't want no parts of it. I don't want no property. I don't care. I said, because the Democrats, and I hate when I had to say this stuff, don't know what they're doing. They don't understand how this stuff works. They're getting ready to tear this stuff apart, and it's going to be a big mess, and it's going to take years to correct it if you get somebody responsible enough and know what they're doing to try to correct it. And nobody understood. Now we're here. Now, and here's the thing. Again, they paid attention to the drama. They paid attention to the noise. What I did was I kept investing. I kept moving my money smart. Smart money will always make money and always beat out all that stuff. I'm glad that I ain't got to fix nothing. I'm glad I ain't got to repair nothing. Hold up. Hold on 1 second. I do have a crazy question to ask. Do you? No, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Um, I was born and raised in Philadelphia all my life. But I pay attention. I'm a numbers person. Like I pay attention to the obvious things, and I'm not saying that I'm the smartest person in the room, not by any means, but I have a tendency to be more of a I consume a lot by watching what I see people do, and I look for the common sense things. I look for the common sense stuff. What makes common sense? Because honestly speaking, it don't take a whole lot of smarts, education, and stuff like that to do a lot of this stuff. And that's why I laugh at people. They be like, "Oh, well, doctors and stuff like that." I say, "Yeah, the doctors went to school and got the degrees, and I get all that. But the people that own the hospital don't have a doctor's degree. So which one is the smart one?" I said, if you look at some of these investors and stuff that own these hospitals and real estate and stuff, they're the smart ones because they're the ones paying the doctor's paycheck. And they're the ones who owns the bank. That's the bank that the doctor went to get the loan to pay for his degree. And I'm not saying anything wrong with it. My point is because of, again, because people are so indoctrinated. Listen, I was growing up in the city of Philadelphia, and I'm gonna be honest with you. The worst thing I could have did was growing up in a neighborhood where they always tried to everything had to be about race and skin color. That was the worst. That was the worst part. And I'm be honest with you. Once I started getting my mindset out of that, getting a relationship with God, studying the Bible, reading the Bible, and understanding how much the Bible applies to real life, and this is the real truth. When I realized and I gave my life to Christ, and I really started, I never tell people to read the Bible because reading is only going to give you a reading perspective. I always do what the Bible tells me to do, was with study. So I was studying. Like I would sit down, literally study and try to find out what little stupid words mean and stuff like that. Why did they put the word there? Why did they do this? And what does this apply to? And then it's the thing that triggered the most was just common sense. And a lot of what we're talking about right now is just common sense. But what happens is people get so emotionally into hating a politician because somebody else told you to hate somebody. Or somebody told you that this person is this and this person is that. And I used to laugh because I'd be like, y'all hate somebody, but I can't count. I say, I remember in the city of Philadelphia, because y'all got to understand, city of Philadelphia is not that far from Atlantic City. And the very person that they all was told to hate, which was Trump, every time I turned around, black people was running down to the Atlantic City to Trump casino and gambling and spending money down there all the time. All of the vineyards, everything that was happening in that time, Trump name was on all of it. The Apprentice show, when they was down in Trump Atlantic City, Trump casinos. Whenever you see Mike Tyson fighting Holyfield heavyweight division, you see him and Don King working together, close by hand, promoting fights and stuff like that. And I'm like, all of these singers and stuff that was performing in his venue, I'm like, all of this stuff are centered around this person. And this man have talked about how smart and intelligent he thought black people was. But then turn around, y'all let a new group of people who don't have no clue about none of this history tell y'all to hate somebody. And I'm not saying you choose what you want to do. But then they say, well, he keep filing bankruptcy. That makes him smart. How do you file bankruptcy that many times and comes out as a billionaire, tells me that you understood the system so well that you outsmarted the people that thought they were so smarter than you, and you use common sense to do. That's it. And y'all so caught up into the emotional aspect, y'all miss out on all of the benefits and all of the understanding and all of the real smart educational part that comes along with it. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. All you have to do is make wise and smart decisions. Stop listening to what they say and watch what they do, and guarantee you'll benefit from what they do. And that's it. And here's the thing, my dad, and God rest his soul, I learned a lot from him. Now, my dad didn't have a lot. And and when he started to get this concept, he really started to try to get, he really, I seen him go into this mode of, he wanted to try to make up for lost time. And I had to tell my dad, like, Dad, listen, he was too old for that at that point. And I said, Dad, it's time for you to enjoy your life. Like, I understand that you want to leave an inheritance. And I understand that you feel like you should have did more. I said, but Dad, you at the age you are, don't do it. I said, I hated to say it that way, but it was too late at that point. And I had to free my father up and say, listen, Dad, it's okay. Listen, you gave me enough knowledge that I was able to take care of myself, that I was able to do things. The biggest thing my father said to me was, make sure that you master more than one talent. Because if one thing don't work for you, reach in your pocket and pull out another talent and put that thing to work for you. And then he said, if you do that, you'll never go broke and you'll never go home. And it worked for me, because I've done multiple things, and the situation stuff went bad, and I was like, okay, I got to figure something out. And because I was multi-talented, I already knew the one thing wasn't working for me one day. I got away from that and went to this, and it started working for me. I was like, okay, I'm eating again. That's it. And right. And this is why you have to do this stuff. And now I'm gonna go back to the situation with illegal immigrants so people can understand why I stick on this so much. Now, a lot of people don't want to get what I'm saying, but I'm gonna explain to you why this happens. And this is where the common sense come in. So I'm gonna do this in elementary form. I want y'all to listen to what I'm saying. Take out whether you like the person or not. I want y'all to go, we're gonna go to common sense. Let's just say you own a home, right? Your home. Nobody else's. I'm not even gonna talk about the country as a whole. Your home. And let's say you're sitting there watching your TV. Let's say you didn't even lock your front door. Let's just say you left the front door unlocked, but it's shut, it's closed. And then 10 people just walks in your house, right? They didn't knock on your door. They didn't come in your house and say, knock on your door and take an invite from you. You just sitting there watching your TV, minding your business, and 10 people come walking in your house, right? Bang. Now, they're in your house. Now, a regular person like, yo, what y'all doing? Why y'all coming in my house? Get out of my house. And you will probably call 911 to get them out of your house because they came into your house uninvited, illegally. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Illegally, right? So this is where I keep trying to explain to y'all, this is where it has nothing to do with politics. It's common sense. All right, so are you going to let those 10 people stay in your home, and you're going to be the one that get up and go to work and take and provide for the 10 people that came in your house illegally? And while they're there eating up your resources that God blessed you with. God blessed you with the house. God blessed you with the job. God blessed you with the food and everything that you have in your house. These people did not even obey the fact that you had a door, which is like a border. They just came in your house and sat down and started eating up your food, drinking up your water, turning on your lights and turning on using up all the resources that God blessed you with without permission from you. Now, are you going to sit there and let them continue to do that? Or are you going to go get law enforcement to come in and remove them out of your home? That's common sense. Yes, you're going to go call law enforcement and say, I got people that have violated, that entered my house illegally, and they need to pack them up and they need to get them out of my house. Right. Because if I don't get them out of here, they're going to tear up my home and they're going to tear up all my resources, and I'm going to be left with nothing. Everything that I worked hard for, everything that I was blessed with, is going to be taken away from me by criminals that came in my house and tore up my property. Now, you got to look at your country the same way. If they don't respect the door, the front door, enough to come and ask for permission to enter, it's the same concept. You come into the country, which we have a law against crossing over our country illegally. Why? Because God blessed the people here with the resources here. It's not for everybody. And I know people think, oh, God loves everybody. Yeah, he do. But guess what? He blesses people based on the certain reasons. So America is America. That's it. Now, if you don't like what I'm saying, that's fine. You ain't got to like it. But the reality of it is, it's not my fault that you wasn't blessed to be in this country. But if you come to this country, number one, you need to adapt to the way we are and not try to change it the way you want it to be. Number two, you got to ask for permission to come here, and we need to check you when you do. You would do the same thing at your house. If you just let anybody walk inside your house, you're lying. Meanwhile, if I'm driving down the street and I'm driving a vehicle and I don't have a license to drive the vehicle, what's going to happen? They're going to pull me over. If they pull me over, there's a good chance I'm either get a ticket or I possibly go get locked up. Why? Because I broke the rules. That's why I have no sympathy for people like that, because if you don't respect the country enough to do it the right way, you should not be coming. You shouldn't even be here. I don't care what level of criminal you are. For me personally, anyone that crossed the border illegally, put them back. Send them back. I don't care about the level of crime. I don't care about the hardcore, not hardcore. I want all of them going because I don't want them to consume the resources to the people that are naturally born here. It's theirs. It is theirs. Resources that are in America are for the people that are naturally born here. And I got kids, grandkids, and that's what it's for. Done. And my neighbor's kids and my neighbor's grandkids. That's for them. I might not even like my neighbors, but it's still. That's it. It's still there. They still have a right to the resources. But when someone else just comes over here and do what they're doing, that's a problem. Rest in peace, Chuck Norris. What you talking about? Chuck Norris passed away? Mark, how you doing, brother? God bless you. God bless you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, it's a weird story about how I became I'm a Philadelphia fan for all sports teams. I even still kind of bang with the Eagles too. The Pittsburgh Steelers, there's a story how I became a Steelers fan, and I don't want to get into it, but if the Steelers are out of the playoffs or out of the in playoff for the running for the Super Bowl, then I'm gonna root for the Eagles. That's just normal. Anybody know me know I'm gonna root for the Eagles when the Steelers out the way. So I ride with all Philadelphia teams, except the Steelers ride over the Eagles. But if the Steelers are out of the way, I will root for the Eagles. But all the other teams, Sixers and the Flyers and any other Philadelphia team I rock with, even I rock with the Eagles, just not above my Steelers. Yeah, and I'm one of those people, like I said, as we sitting there was talking, I'm watching my portfolio just tanking. That's why I started buying. And I knew it was going to tank because I've seen it tank after the Feds say what they say. Wall Street might not like what the Feds are saying. People don't think that they got a stomach. Cool. I took a little bit of money from somewhere else reposition myself in other stuff, and we'll see what happens down the road. I'm okay with it. Um, I've been buying FSK. My dividends are already pending for it for the money that I already dumped into it, and I'm gonna keep rocking out. And if it keeps falling where it's at, I'm gonna keep buying. Yeah, that's it. And here's the thing: I watch the market every single day, right? Every day I'm watching the market. Does that mean I buy every day? No. I'm only watching to see what it does for the moments that I'm gonna buy. Now today was a buy day. I ain't gonna lie. Today was a day that I was like, okay, I'm definitely going in and I'm buying because I seen this. This is where I like to buy. So I always tell people that follow my channel and stuff, I usually use JPST as like where I store my money at. That stock is an ETF that's kind of stable. It doesn't move up and down a whole. It really doesn't move at all. It usually hangs at $50 a share. So I will leave my money there, a good chunk of money there to collect dividends off of it. But when I see the market does this, then I would dump a little bit off of JPST, and then I'll average dollar cross average some of the other stuff that I'm down with, and then I'll just go back to doing what I was doing. And and Joyce Ort said, "It's like your favorite snack on sale." Yes, Joyce, I can't say it no better, and I love it. The day was a good day for buying, and I was while I was on my live, I was buying. And God bless you, Joyce. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you. Please hit the like button. I know you're already a subscriber. Hopefully everything is well with you. Hopefully World Away From Here 95 is doing well. Also, make sure y'all check World Away From Here. World Away From Here 95. Check out her YouTube channel. She does make a lot of great music that I listen to often. It's on my playlist on my YouTube page. I do listen to a lot of the music that she makes. Overall. And so if you're on this live, please check out World Away From Here 95 YouTube channel if you're interested in listening to different forms of music that she creates and stuff like that. I love it. It's how do you feel about Trump child investment program where every parent, well, I do know about this, to get free accounts $1,000. Let me tell you something. This one thing with this child thing, I love. I think on a lot of things that Trump has done, I talked about doing. I love this one. The one that about the $1,000 for every child born in America, in that time period. And I'm gonna tell you why I love this. This is one is an educational tool for people to when kids get older, how much investing and how much being money, it gives them a better perspective of how money works and investing and stuff like that. That's number one. So let's say a person gets $1,000, the kid gets $1,000, 18 years old, they get ready to go out there and buy a house. Let's just say that $1,000 ends up being $30,000, right? And that kid's like, well, where did $30,000 come from? Okay, well, when you was a baby, it was only 1,000, but because of interest, reinvesting, whatever, accumulated to $30,000 over the 18 years that you was alive. Now you got $30,000 to start out your life, whatever. I'm just using 30,000 as a number. I think this is one of the smartest things that Trump, out of all the things that I think he's done, this one here resonates with me a lot more because I think kids have a lot of kids grow up and they're not financially responsible. They see what they want, they know money can buy it, and they just go buy it. Now, here's the thing. I don't know what happened with me as a kid. I don't know why I was the way I was, but I didn't want to hold on. I was just different. I'm not saying I was different and there was no other kid like me. I wasn't flashy. I wasn't none of that stuff like that. There is some things I will waste money on, but it was, I usually tried to save and put money away to be able to do it where it wasn't going to damage me financially too much. My motto has always been for a long time is before I could buy it once, I got to save it twice. Meaning, and it don't mean putting in a savings account and it just, no, that's not what I mean. Meaning, if I wanted to buy a shirt for $20, I had to save, which I'm in my when I say save, that's investing. So before I could buy a shirt for $20, I got to go invest $40. But I can't use the invest or savings to buy the shirt. I have to invest $40 before I can take $20, a new $20, and buy anything. That's it. And guess what happened? It created a habit, a pattern in me to invest first before I buy anything. Invest first before I buy anything. That's it. It just created a habit of me doing things that particular way. I never, and don't get me wrong, that don't apply to everything because some things are just too expensive to buy twice. I mean, to save twice and buy once. But it's just a model that you try to live by is that before I could buy it once, I got to save it twice. That's it. So if I want to buy a little stupid stuff, and at some point, you don't even have to pay it no attention. Like right now, thank God that for the level of investment I've already done, if I wanted to go buy a shirt, I could just go buy it. I don't have, because my system, my investments take care of themselves now. So I'm always investing. Every day there's money coming in to reinvest. So I don't have to pay it so much attention because I'm always investing more than I'm spending because I've allowed my investments to recycle and make me money over time. But initially, that was the hardest thing to do because you got to invest it twice before I could spend it once. Now, if my investments are bringing in me enough money every month, when I do decide to go buy something, I don't have to look at it that way all the time, even though I still do. I don't have to because technically speaking, I'm always reinvesting money on a regular basis. And because I've established my portfolio in that type of way. And that's real talk. But I appreciate you. Every single one of y'all, Dim, Joyce Ort, and everybody else, my brother Mark, and everybody else, Bean Man, Buzz, and everybody else that's in here, man. Appreciate the conversation. I love it. I love talking about finances. I love talking about money. Hopefully something I said helped somebody along the way. I pray that in the name of Jesus Christ, amen. At the end of the day, we all just trying to survive and make it in this world. And it's nothing, I love more than talking about finances. Thank y'all for coming in on Financial Friday. That's one of my, things that I love to do more. I'd rather talk about this than talk about arguing back and forth with people about politics. But it is what it is. They like the drama, I'm going to give them the drama. They like the smoke, I'm going to give them the smoke. Make sure y'all come back in later on today for Fire on Fridays at 7 o'clock p.m. Fire on Fridays is where we talk everything gun-related, law-related around guns, the whole thing around the gun, weapons industry and stuff like that. 7 o'clock p.m. tonight on the OG Network, we'll have Fire on Fridays with me and my brother Jay, if he able to make it in, which more likely he will. Usually he let me know ahead of time. Of course, we wasn't able to do top to bottom Wednesdays this week because they had prior things that they had to do. And I understand it is what it is. I mean, God bless them. God bless them. I appreciate them. And I love their product. I love the product. I use their product all the time. Y'all not sure what I'm talking about. Make sure y'all take advantage of the promo code that we have right here on the OG Network. That's OG Network 26. OG Network 26 promo code where you can get 15% off all your purchases of top to bottom hair and skincare products. If you're not sure, all you have to do is click the link on my channel and it'll take you right to the top to bottom store. And if you use the promo code OG Network 26, you will get 15% off your discount if you spend $35 or more. My brother Mark, thank you very, very much. Same to you. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for everything that you're doing around here. Make sure y'all check out all the shows that we're doing. It's not just Fire on Fridays, just the one I mentioned. Every day we have a different show at 7 o'clock p.m. throughout the week, except for Sundays, it's 12 o'clock noon, which is a fracas show, which is we just get in there and we don't know where it's going to go. It's definitely not scripted. We try, if you come with the smoke, we give you the smoke. It's humorous, it's serious. There's a lot that goes on with the fracas show, but that's another one of my favorite shows that we do here on the OG Network. Thank y'all. Every single one of y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. I'm out of here. Peace.
Fellas, ladies, you looking for lotions? You looking for beard oils? But unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and it's probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, The U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.